Hey guys, hope you're all well. Hope you're all doing good. And today's video is something different. As you know, I've done some interviews and a variety of different things. Today I have somebody who I matched with on a dating app, someone called Amy. She's got a really good channel. Basically, we were matched. She's got a channel and she does stuff on yoga, meditation, mental health. Really good channel. I recommend. I'll put her links in the description. But yeah, we had a bit of a, shall we say, online date, but it was more of like just a shits and gigs type thing. And we got into different topics, relationships, and all different things. And it's a little bit cringy, but it's all for the channel. It's all good in the name of content. So guys, hope you all enjoyed this video and check out Amy's channel. All in all, guys, it's a good watch and it's a good laugh. So we'll leave it there and we'll see you for tomorrow's vid. Hey Amy, how's it going? You all right?
Hey Dan, yes, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. It's quite a funny story how we came acquainted. Do you want to tell the audience, or should I tell them?
Let the gentleman
Yeah,
tell.
okay. Well, me and Amy, we matched each other on a dating app called Bumble, and I noticed Amy. We had a little conversation. We had some good chemistry on there. I noticed that she had some a YouTube channel, and I thought, well, let's make a YouTube channel, a YouTube video together, and here we are.
That
So
was his method. That's how he.
that's it. That's the chat line. Like if you've not got a YouTube channel, it's a deal breaker.
That's how he got this. Yeah, this is what he tells the girls. I'm a YouTuber. Let's make a video together.
Yeah,
And then look, and then it happens to be in his bedroom. I
I
mean, come
know.
on,
I don't mess about, do I?
we're just making an innocent YouTube video in my bedroom.
Yeah.
But anyway, Dan, looking very nice, looking very sharp in the
Thank you.
shirt.
You too. Love the red dress. It suits you.
Like, are you wearing nice trousers too? Or are you going to confess?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm wearing very nice trousers, but
You are.
my back's hurt in a minute, so I'm gonna struggle to stand up.
Yeah, I've got heels on.
Yeah.
Really, I actually haven't. I've got my Christmas socks on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the
It's
benefit
fine.
of a Zoom.
Yeah, I've got my best jeans on, so it's all good.
Yeah, I believe you. Yeah.
No, we've
Yeah, like,
so yeah. So talking about Bumble and dating apps, what is it? Do you like them? Do you love to hate them? What's your kind of thought process on them?
a love-hate relationship for sure, I would say. I bet you
Hmm.
have that too. It's like, oh no, here I am again, not this again. But at the same time, how, especially these days, even more than ever, how are we supposed to meet people? I
Hmm.
always found it tricky to date being a single parent because I don't allow the time really to go out. If I go out, it's not with the purpose of finding someone. So it just, I guess it opens up the world a bit because you've got now the potential of meeting people that you would never normally meet, which is great about it. However, it's sort of a love-hate relationship, particularly maybe for different reasons for men and women, but
Yeah.
it can be very, very hit and miss with people that you meet on there, and mostly, let's say, miss.
Mm.
Apart from Dan, which
Yeah.
is like the chat.
Obviously, I'm the best one of you match with, ever. We've not even met yet, but who knows? Um, but I know what you're saying. People tend to be quite flaky. You could match with somebody, maybe they'll message you, and maybe I won't get back to them. I'm guilty of it, and vice
Yeah,
versa. I'll match with them, and I'll send them a message, maybe a kind of a little bit of a witty chat line, shall we say, or maybe something a bit of an attention, because if you just go, "Hey, how are you?" It's kind of boring, a bit cliche. So usually I look at the profile, comment on something on the profile, but you make a bit of an effort and then still don't get nothing back. But I know what it's. I've bombarded. I've kind of test run. I've been on like a female friend's
Bumble dating app, and pretty much she was what's the word I'm looking. She was bombarded with messages, so it's a lot. I think your internet connection. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, just my internet connection was stable. So I think it's hard to keep up with it. It's a lot of attention to. So I understand if somebody doesn't get back to you, and I think the key thing is not to take it personal. I don't know what your experience is with messaging people, or you getting back to people. You find you don't always have time.
Well, this is the thing. I think, well, we're on Bumble, right? And maybe for those people who don't know, Bumble is one of the swiping ones, and it's really different to like the original swiping dating app, which was Tinder, because women have to message first on Bumble, and so you swipe, and then you have to wait to match. If you match, then you send them a message. I think you've got 24 hours to send a message or they disappear. So actually, in that respect, Bumble is probably, I would say actually, it's probably my favorite app I've tried. I've tried Tinder. I've not been on that for a while, thank God. I've tried Plenty of Fish, Hinge. Well, it's all coming out now.
Yeah. Well, you've got to shop about a bit, you know.
Yeah. Okay. I'm quite the veteran at online dating. Okay, Cupid. Any others? I think those are the main ones. And I would say Bumble is probably like the best, let's say, in terms of quality of people that are on there. That they are. I've not met anyone on Bumble that is a scammer or sending inappropriate pictures immediately or saying inappropriate things immediately, which happens on other apps. So it seems like it's for people who are actually quite serious, because there's that time limit. So you have to send a message. And then it makes me think, because I've noticed oftentimes I'll swipe on people without really truly actually being interested. Just it's more of like a physical, they're attractive, so I'm going to swipe. Sure. Okay, as shallow as that sounds. But what I've noticed is that unless there's something that they have in their profile or something about them that I'm genuinely interested to want to get to know, I'll rarely message them. Or if I force myself to message them, there's not really like, my heart's not in it. So the conversation never like picks up and it's like, hey, how's it going? Good, how are you? And then it's just like, it's just going nowhere. So
back and forth, yeah. How's your day? Yeah.
Exactly. So it's interesting actually, because this whole year for me and my channel is about like honesty, like full honesty. So I actually kind of want to ask Dan. I have like an honest question to ask Dan. I would like to know what made you swipe right.
Is this truth or dare? Is it? Yeah.
It's not. No. Steve, where's your mind at? Do you see where his mind's at already? Do we swipe left on Bumble or right? Swipe left. It's left, right? What made you swipe on me? Swipe yes on me, or was it an accident?
What made me swipe right on me? Well, I don't know, because it was some time ago.
Yeah. Put him on the spot.
I know that's kind of like evading the question, but it was, and I think I don't know. I mean, I looked at your profile after we matched. I thought, oh yeah, you messaged me. I thought you seemed, a nice person, and I think like
on the spot.
Yeah, I just think like, because I'm being honest, I don't remember swiping right on you. That sounds bad, but I remember matching you. I thought you seem a nice person, but you seem attractive. Have a chat, see where it goes. And that's.
Yeah. Was it for like similar interests, or was it like purely on looks or something in the profile? That's what
yeah.
Because for me, you were like, you had some really nice pictures up of you like working out and running and things like that. And so for me, when I see someone who's taking care of their body and into fitness, I know that there's always that level that we can talk about.
Yeah.
But then there needs to be something like a little bit more depth to the person for me. And like, you seemed that you had quite a few different interests. And when we actually were messaging, and I think one of the first messages that you said is that you see my channel and that you did meditation and things like that. So it's like there's more to him than just,
there's more than just a superficial level. When I seen it, it was like, yeah, you look nice, but you also got some other things going on as well.
Exactly, yeah. because it's like when people who are just into fitness, it doesn't mean that like I can connect with them on things like spirituality or meditation or anything more deep than that. But it seems like Dan had a bit of depth to him. And also I thought you had like really nice eyes, smile. He has a really nice smile. So that was one of the things I swiped on.
Yeah, you too, actually. I mean, so I think I just got I got a WhatsApp notification. I think is it from yourself? I don't know.
I didn't WhatsApp you.
All right.
That's your other Bumble match.
Yeah, it probably is. I've got another, another yoga teacher on another yoga YouTuber. Yeah. But yeah,
that's it. It's the yoga. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I know
that was it.
Level. Oh, she's so flexible.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, who knows? I mean, me and my bad back at the minute. I need somebody with a bit of flexibility.
Sure. Got
it. Actually, my knees are hurting from. I've been doing running every day this last week, and my legs have just not really recovered well. But anyway, that's another. We digress. But yeah, I think initially, if I'm honest, obviously, yeah, I do swipe right, and it's from a superficial level. Of course. It's like, do I find this lady attractive? Okay, swipe right, and then see where it goes. And
I think that's people like to lie to themselves a little bit when it comes to, are we swiping right based on looks? Most people would like to think that they're not, but we have to look at the psychology of dating apps. All you've got really to go on is something superficial in front of you. So how are you not supposed to look at their physical aspect of it, because that's all you've got to go on. But at the same time, it's tricky, because let's say in the past, in person, meeting people in person, let's say you meet someone and they're not your traditional type, but as you get to know them, then they become more attractive to you because of like their personality. Have you found that? And then vice versa, people who you've met from maybe dating apps, so you've just judged completely on looks and be like, wow, and then when you've met them in person, they become less attractive to you. So it's tricky in a way, because if we do just swipe based on looks, we're filtering out those people who like have such an attractive personality that like they become super attractive to you. So that's sad. But I get a lot of messages when I've been on the apps where I don't get the control. This puts the woman in control, right? Which is sort of what men like with Bumble, where I have to message them first. It's like I'll get messages back from guys on other apps and be like, you're not giving me a chance, you're shallow. And they'll have messaged me and been like, will you come on a date with me? And if I say no thank you, then they tell me I'm shallow. Right. And this is my response to them, which I've developed over the years. The fairest response is to say, hey, why did you message me? You saw something that you were attracted to and you wanted to message me and ask me out. So don't I get a choice? You had a choice and you chose to message me. You chose me to message. I don't get to choose whether or not I want to go on a date with you, but you get to choose in that respect. And then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. And
so they get salty over like you not being responding back. Then, anyway.
Well, it's sort of it's a tricky situation. Is that if you reply to be kind, so let's say someone's written me a really nice message. It's like, wow, this guy's gone to effort. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And sometimes they're like, that's okay, and they're very nice about it. And then
what's a really
the other
nice
side
message?
of it. What's that?
What's a really nice message?
Oh man. But just something like such a compliment, like you're so different, you're so unique, and you've got amazing eyes, and so like not something crude, because why? What goes through guys' brains of like the things that on the flip side, I've had some horrific things sent to me, literally, where they think that it's okay to just say things that you would never say to anyone, even a family member, in the first message. But then like the really nice messages, it's like, well, thank you very much. Then they think, right, I've got to have a bit of a conversation with them, because now they think that I'm interested, and actually I wasn't. So I'm kind of, basically you're screwed either way. If you're not interested in this person, you're screwed if you reply, you're screwed if you're not. Because most of the time they'll get angry and call you shallow and things like that, and why don't you give them a chance and things. And I have tried, but over the years it's just like, thank you very much, but not interested, sorry about that, and then just leave it and move on. But this is why I like Bumble, because there's not really any chance of that, because you're only going to match with people that you have an interest in. So yeah, there's less of the chance of that.
Yeah, I found that. I think that on Bumble, from my point of view, it seems to be a bit high quality compared to Tinder.
Yeah, high quality of people. I think so. Oh, I've not been on Tinder for ages. There's also scammers on there. Probably more for men. And a lot, and more recently, of people putting fake pictures up. So, they'll put like model pictures up.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to, you just do Google image search and you can figure those people out.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm really experienced at these dating apps. It's very interesting. However, I was just thinking, I haven't actually been on a date this entire year, Dan. This is actually the only date I've been on in 2020.
Yeah. Oh, so this is a date now, is it?
I thought it was a date. He texted me earlier. It's like, this is a proper date. Make sure you dress up nicely.
Yeah.
We were just
No, I mean, I mean, it's good because I've been on some dates and over the months, but I think it's nice. Like, whether we treat this as a date or a conversation is either way, but who knows? Like, I think this is the great thing about the internet, is that it's good that we can meet and date people, but at the same time, like we could have chemistry right now, but then we could meet each other and we could completely hate each other's guts. You just never know. I doubt that, but
it's true. Yeah, that's sad.
It's always the beauty of it. I mean, for me, I think it's always, like you said, with people getting salty. I just don't see the point. Like, come on, there's billions of people in the world. Like, a few more swipes right, and you might meet somebody else. Why get salty?
Yeah. But then you get sad though, because this is the thing with when you give people so much choice, is that normally if you take what used to happen before dating apps, we didn't have so much choice, right? So we gave more people a chance. If you think, probably in the old days, they only literally would meet the people who were in their circles. They would never meet people outside of that. And so I think people do get shallow, and they do get into that mindset of, well, they're not quite good enough. And I think we start to, because there's so much choice and because there could be someone nicer in the next match, that we're not giving as many people a chance, if that makes sense. And I do get messages from these guys who are really sad, and they're like, why does no one reply to me? I feel really, and they're just, because they're not even like unattractive guys, they're just normal looking. I think because there's so much choice and variety on there, people are kind of like waiting for the next one who may be better. And that's kind of what we do in life, is always trying to wait for the next thing, go for the next thing which might be better, the next moment, rather than living in the present moment.
I think it is a bit of a numbers game with it, ultimately.
Because how many matches you can get.
Well, I mean, I've got quite a few matches on Tinder, but a lot of them I don't message, or they don't message me, and it's like, oh, it's just pointless. It's vanity metrics, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it doesn't mean anything.
So they're judging like their self-worth based on how many matches they can get.
Like, oh yeah, I can show off to friends I've got X amount of matches on Tinder, but it doesn't mean anything. Like, ultimately, it's, have you actually met that person? Have you, has it become a relationship, whatever that may be? So what is it when you come onto these dating apps? What is it you're looking for?
That's interesting. I think really this year is probably the year that I haven't really been looking for anything, if that makes sense, because I've been so focused on myself and my son and on our lives, and because, let's say, when you look at your past relationships, if you were sort of to line up your past relationships, you were probably a different person with each person that you were with, right? And no matter what happened in the relationship, you were sort of growing with each person, from one person to the next. Is something that you learned about yourself and that you grew as you moved through each relationship. Now, especially like within the last year, the growth has been so dramatic in my life that I have just been focused on that and absorbed in that. But then it's got to the point, it just literally got to the point, like I think when I started going back on these apps, like, well, just to socialize again, because this year has been so, let's say, like abnormal, that it actually feels quite nice just to do something normal like date and socialize, if that makes sense. So just to meet people, I always find people really fascinating.
Yeah.
So I love to meet new people and talk to them, because like literally any person that you meet, you can learn something from that person, and they can say something profound that really resonates with you, something like that. So I just like to meet people.
Yeah. And
how about you?
yeah, I'm the same. I mean, I think, to be honest, people, especially with like the different lockdown and with it easing a little bit in the summer, I was finding people were more keen to meet because they've been locked down a few months before. They're like, yes, I want to meet somebody. I haven't met somebody. I haven't had that connection, that chemistry with somebody. I'm kind of like, what's the word? I'm wanting that, basically, because it's not been in my life. Like, usually I used to go out, maybe go out in the bars on Friday, Saturday night, or I could go on a date every other week, but I haven't been able to do that. And with the restrictions easing in the summer, people have been more keen to meet. So I managed to go on a couple of dates in the summer because people were like, yes, let's meet. It's been a while. So for me, like, meeting people and that, I'm like, well, do I want a relationship, or do I just maybe want some casual fun? It's like, I'm not even either side, because different wants and different needs. Like, you can say, I want a relationship with this person, and then it doesn't turn out. Like, you can also say, oh, maybe we have a fling with it, just a little bit of fun or whatever, but then actually it turns out to be a relationship. And it's funny how things turn out. So there is no kind of like, people go, oh yeah, I'm a relationship guy, or I'm just a one night stand type person. But I think it's hard to say like what you want, and then stuff, funny how things turn out.
I like that, actually, because one of the criteria on the dating app is like, what are you looking for? And I like your answer, because I really feel immediately put off when people are like, I want this,
yeah,
but none of that. And it's like, yep. And with men, and I hate to say this in like a generalizing term, but maybe a pattern that I've noticed, is that unless men are really like looking for a committed relationship, anything else, they're mostly looking to get as much as they can with as little commitment as possible. And that kind of cherry picking is a real turn off for me. I like maybe just meet someone before, like, you start chatting to people these days online, and maybe the second question that they ask you, or the first question, what is it that you're looking for? Like, can we just talk?
yeah
Can we just talk and get to know each other? Why do we have to, like, it's almost like you lay all your cards down on the table immediately and being like, this is what I'm looking for, and you better not be asking for anything more than this, or willing to give any less than this. It's very interesting. So I actually really like your answer to that, because you just take it from a person to person basis and keeping open. It's just like, I don't resonate with people who are so closed off anymore. Like, why not just open yourself up to life and be like, well, show me, how my life can be, and what kind of people can be in my life.
Yeah, because it's difficult. Like, you go on these profiles, or no, I'm not trying to like throw shame at people, but it's like, you put, oh, I'm done with the bad boys. I just want a good guy to settle down with, and and stuff. I'm like, well, it's I don't know. I mean, you're putting an expectation on something, and I think it's I don't know. It's difficult because people, like I say, you can go into the intention of I want a relationship, but then your mind can change. But then same again, you might think, oh, I just want a one night stand or just a casual kind of fling, but then it can change. So I think
I think it comes. Go on.
yeah, it's difficult for people, and
It comes from this mindset that we have as humans, that that other people are responsible for giving us what we need. Which so for example, these people who are like, I want to date but nothing serious. That's the most vague thing that I've ever come across online. When they're going to have a real set of expectations. So, basically it kind of means that the guy gets to do as he wishes and, come and visit the woman as much as he feels like he can offer, but she's not really allowed to make any expectations of him. But so it's like this give and take thing. So this other person must give me what I need and not ask from me of any more than I'm willing to give. And it's really like a codependency thing when we start to look outside ourselves for fulfillment, when actually like what I've mostly been learning this year is that we're actually supposed to find that fulfillment within ourselves and not be setting these expectations of other people, which most of the time are just doomed to failure, of like, you must give me this.
Yeah,
Do you agree?
I agree. I mean, it always makes me laugh when people say, "Oh, I only want something. I'm looking for something meaningful." Well, okay, what does that mean exactly? Like, I mean, I think they mean that meaningful is in a relationship, but meaningful, you could be in this meaningful relationship with somebody, and 2-3 months down the line, you're a bad match. The chemistry's not there. You're just not getting on. But then again, you could, spend a night or spend a couple of nights with somebody, and you might not ever see them again, but it could be meaningful. It could be like the best time you've ever had with that person. And that could
totally
be
been that.
meaningful. So
you can so actually one of the more like meaningful relationships I've ever had was never really defined as actually a relationship, and like the conversations that I had with this person was like really beautiful, and we didn't really know if we were friends or lovers or whatever. We never really defined it, but I actually learned so much from this person and vice versa, and we like really kind of bared our souls with each other. That was totally meaningful. But it's again this idea that it must fit this criteria or it's not.
When you put labels on things, it puts pressure on things, doesn't it? In a way.
Well, you miss out on the beauty of the other person and the connection with that other person if you do. And it's, I think, from a woman's, maybe I have this interesting question to ask you, because since I've got you here and you're a guy, from a woman's perspective, the idea of needing for it to be defined as a relationship comes from that like security, that they have someone there for them, and like that's it, and they know exactly where they are with this person. And now I'm going to ask you, like, what's the thing with the not wanting to be tied down? That's like the evolutionary thing, the age old. The woman wants to tie the guy down, the man wants to be free.
But don't you think it can work the other way as well, that the man might want a relationship and the woman doesn't? Is it always in the woman's court?
Yeah. So what do you, if a woman says to you, what does this mean? Where is this going? Are we in a relationship or what? Like what's kind of the thought pattern that happens to you?
Well, I usually sometimes maybe I'll just keep going on as we are. But if she really comes to a point where like she really wants to know, then I'll let her know in person. I'm not going to let her know, if it's not what she wants to hear. Like, oh, I'm happy just dating and I don't really see as being anything more than that. Then I'm going to tell her in person, because it probably might be a little bit upsetting. I think the worst thing you can do is just do it over text and be a bit of a slime all over it. Or
I think honestly,
get her on a face-to-face call like this and go, look, hey Amy, I don't really see it going anywhere between us, but I've had a good time with you and I enjoy your company, but hey, we can still I think it's important that I'm all up for just being honest, and if they want to know where we stand, I'd be like, look, this is where it's going. I'm not going to do it over text. I think that's a weak
Yeah,
way to
this
do
is
it.
nice. Honesty is actually the bravest thing, because
Mm.
you're facing potentially unpleasant scene, but it's actually the best thing that you can do, because it's leaving no questions. It's the uncertainty that women really torture themselves with, like,
Yeah,
and they'll be on the phone.
and
I know
I'm sure
that's why.
you'd have more respect. You'd have more respect, and that in turn might
Yeah,
think it'd probably make you more attractive to me as a person. You're like, oh yeah, he's
yeah.
respectful.
The most honest breakup I ever had, I think I was like early teens, and the guy was literally like, I just don't fancy you anymore, and it was brutal. Or don't like you anymore if you're in the States. So like, it was brutal, but there were no questions. Like, women, and I know this because my girlfriends do this, they're like on the phone, what does this mean? And they're analyzing his behavior. He's done this, this, and this. Does this mean that I'm his girlfriend? Does this mean he's breaking up with me? What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? And they do that. And it's just from my experience, actually, men are, and I really like this about men, are very like simple and clear cut, and there's not usually a lot more going on than their behavior is presenting. It's like there's no hidden meaning, but women are always trying to find the hidden meaning behind the behavior and things like that. So
yeah, usually men are. I tend to think men are more logical, and women tend to be a bit more emotional. Yeah, but it's true. Men are a bit more black and white. Like, yeah, I want that one. I'll, you know.
I actually appreciate that, because I don't like the uncertainty and the not knowing. I would prefer to know.
But not all men. Some men are like more feminine
Yes,
than masculine,
totally.
and vice versa. Some women are more masculine than feminine.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
What would be interesting, actually, I think, is to, if this were an in-person date, how would the conversation go? Because we've analyzed it all now.
Yeah.
So if this were a real date, how would we talk? Let's think. I haven't been on a date in so long. What's the purpose of it even?
Well, for me, I mean, I always keep it kind of low key. I like a Starbucks or something. You know, keep it casual, keep it simple.
Yeah.
You know, nothing too like, you know, let's go on a dinner date, or, you know, and then all being well, you know, depending on how much time we've got, maybe we'll go to another venue or do something else, depending on the first date, and then I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say how a conversation will look, because you know, I don't know. It all depends on your mood or my mood, or
Yeah, that's true.
you know.
I think you promised me Starbucks, so it's very
Didn't you
Starbucks.
promise me Starbucks? I don't know.
No,
No, you promised
no.
me Costa.
You promised me
Yeah.
a peppermint mocha. That was
That
it.
was it. Yeah. That
Yeah,
was the drink of choice.
yeah. Okay, so I guess it's to get to know you a little bit more. But it's so interesting because we kind of already shared so much about each other.
Yeah.
So how to start? Maybe get to know like what your interests are. But that sounds really generic. And what do you like? How do you like to spend your time? That sort of thing.
That's what sort of
So
conversation
Dan,
you'd go down.
yeah, it feels weird having that conversation in your bedroom though. But so Dan,
Yeah.
what are your interests? Actually, I would rather say, if I was actually on a date with someone, I would probably want to know like what you're passionate about. Don't tell me what you're interested in. I want to know like what are you passionate about in life.
That's what you'd ask somebody.
I'm asking you right now. Yeah.
You're asking me right now. All right, I'll just.
That's my question.
Well, I think you already know. You know, you. That's my kind of like response. Well, actually, I'm passionate in. This is my. You know, as you know, I'm doing my YouTube channel. So, you know, I'm passionate in like self development, fitness, and you know, I'm always interested in how I can be better, how I can level up, how I can just be a better version of myself, as cliche as that sounds.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I like doing my YouTube channel. And yeah, I'm a bit of a self development junkie. I was on about Mac, who I had on my channel today. I was like, yeah, I've been in self development for years. I'm always like researching how to be like the best me. And even though ultimately, you know, I don't need to do that. I know how to be the best me, but it's just kind of that's the habit of me. I always like to look on how I can get a step up in life. But yeah, I know that's not
See,
really.
that's actually when I was listening to that. Actually, that's like really attractive. That kind of I personally find it attractive when a man is like has a drive and motivation.
Yeah.
I personally find it less attractive when the guy is more like just settled and set in their ways and not willing to look at ways that they can open up to life and have new experiences and things like that. So actually, I think you mentioned that before, and that's probably one of like your most attractive like personal qualities, I would say.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you. So what
You're
about
welcome.
yourself? Like,
Yeah.
are you like do you have like a set date rules, or 3 dates and strike they're out or something, or what's the
Oh, it's the 3 date rule. Are you asking me?
yeah, do you do stuff like that? Are you like, is it, uh,
Um,
we've got to go on 10 dates before we get intimate or something,
before before I actually go into Dan's bedroom.
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking me? Yeah. Oh, that's a tricky question. No, I think it's totally a person to person basis.
Mm.
But that was I've changed so much this year. I really couldn't give you an answer because I don't tend to set like intentions like that and plans like that. I'm not one of those girls anymore, or if I ever was, because as we were just kind of saying, it's like it's all about the person. I would feel social pressure to not be a slut and sleep with someone on the first date. So that would be like when I think of that, there's that social shame that if you do sleep with someone on a first date, then you're a slut.
Yeah.
That was what I was hearing when you asked me that question, rather than what was coming from my heart, which is I just want to see where this goes with this person and get to know them, and whatever happens, happens.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like this needs to happen on the first date. But I was speaking to somebody the other day, and she was in conversation, and she said the guy waited 6 weeks to get intimate with her, and said it was just too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's tough. But why? When
So
people
I mean,
say
I
it
really
must be
don't think, because like, just say if we've been, I don't think there is a rule like, oh, it needs to happen on this date or this date.
Yeah.
I don't think there is. I mean, obviously, I get how you came back with that question. You was like trying to say, oh, I was trying to say, but because people say like, oh yeah, you need to, this is a rule. You need to do it by 3 dates, or that's it, and or it needs to happen. I just think it's society BS.
Yeah, it is. But I actually now have I want an honest question when I ask you like a super honest question. Like super honest, you must promise, hand on heart, that you give me an honest answer here, right? Okay. If a girl sleeps with a guy on a first date, does he think less of her? Have a think about it. Is there in any way, does it make her more available and less desirable?
I don't know. I can't answer that
I want to know the answer to this.
because it's not set in stone, is it? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Because it all depends on like if you how into the guy you are in the moment, and there's no like, you might in fact actually think, oh, this girl's attractive even more because I we've been talking for ages about it, great chemistry, and obviously it's meant to be.
Yeah.
So
You couldn't
I can't really answer that. No, I don't really think, because it's this difficult one. Yeah, I don't know.
It's not set in stone, because that's where the social shame comes in. Women are told, and they're telling each other.
I'm more like, if I'm honest, they don't give it me on the first date, I'm more like disappointed. I'm like, hey, well, okay.
But there's some relationship advice going around. So I think his name is it Matthew Hussey? Yeah. there's this whole drive right now that in order to be
I've heard about
viewed
it.
as a high value woman,
He's giving women dating advice, isn't he? Is that what he's
yeah,
doing? Yeah.
you must present yourself as high value,
Yeah.
right? By acting as if you're a higher value,
Yeah.
and the guy must chase you, and you're amazing kind of thing, and you must chase me and work for it.
Yeah.
That's like,
Hello.
that's the relationship advice that's going around, and that's what women are telling each other. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think it's froze up a little bit.
Are you there?
You back? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you again. Yeah. So anyway, that's what
So
women are
Matthew
telling each
Hussey's telling women
other.
that
Make him wait.
they need to dangle the carrot, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And act as if like the guy should chase after them like they're some sort of idol, which I don't personally believe in, because I don't ever think that in a good relationship one person should be higher than the other.
But if you've got natural chemistry and natural desire for that guy, and you're both really into each other, then I don't think there's no shame in hooking up on the first date. But
Yeah, I think
if it's possible, but if it isn't, like you might have things going on, or you might not be quite there yet, then maybe second, third, or whatever. You know, it happens when it happens.
maybe it just kind of accelerates things, and it's more apparent if the guy was just literally physically attracted to them and there was no chemistry. So when they get that, then they lose interest. But the women then interpret it as, because you slept with him, you lost interest, whereas actually that was not the idea. Yeah, that's actually kind of interesting. This is opened my mind a little bit.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think yeah, so what is like your ideal date? Like, do you have one, or
I think it would be where you're just talking like non-stop, so it doesn't necessarily matter like what you're doing, but that the conversation is just flowing really well, and that you feel like you could just talk to this person for hours. If that makes sense. I think conversation is most key for me in relationship, because the communication, if there's good communication, you can get through anything, like any challenge, any fight, provided there's good communication, you can get through it.
Yeah. I agree. I think
yeah.
I think people have, you know, a lot of barriers and insecurities, so they don't feel like they want to let that guard down and maybe open communicate with somebody, because they feel like, oh, they'll find out this about me, and then that creates a barrier, a bit of tension there, and you know the relationship might break down because of it, you know.
Okay. This is a question that tends to come up on dates, like first date. So normally you would ask, when was your last serious relationship?
Yeah.
I think the reason for asking that question though is like you want to assess like how emotionally available that person is. Like, are they just broken up with someone? Are they okay? Are they ready? That sort of thing. Yeah.
What's a serious relationship? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh, you know,
maybe where you were like emotionally committed to that person. Where you felt like, yeah, that's a good question. What's a serious relationship?
But I'm emotionally committed to myself.
Good.
Yeah. So.
Where you labeled them as your girlfriend.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer.
Oh, so you want me to answer it? It's probably like.
Yeah, you don't have to, but that would be what I would ask. Like, or that's what people always ask me, is like, when was your last serious relationship?
It's probably like middle of this year, I'd say. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen somebody for about about 5-6 months. I think it wasn't long term, but it was medium term.
Yeah, medium. Yeah.
That's the thing. Medium. When was your last medium-term relationship? Well,
My last medium term relationship was like going into lockdown, and then it just didn't. It didn't last through lockdown. It just wasn't. That never really got. It was one of those relationships that never really got properly started. So it was kind of.
So what is your kind of ideal guy? I mean, how does he look? How does he talk? What is it you see, what is it you find attractive in a guy?
You see, I could list those qualities that I would swipe on Bumble,
Yeah.
but there's also like that could all be completely thrown aside if the person's like character is literally. I would just need to be able to have a conversation with them where I could just feel like I could talk to them about anything, and that we just talk for hours, that sort of thing. There's got to be some physical chemistry, but I wouldn't say that like that necessarily has to be 100% about looks. So if I would lie if I say that I wouldn't have to be physically attracted to someone to date them. On some level, I would have to be physically attracted to them. But as I mentioned, like there's those times where like the personality kind of shines through them. Then mostly I go for eyes, and just some quality in the eyes that allows me to connect with that person. Sometimes they tend to have dark features. Most of the time, they're in some way keeping in shape or keeping healthy.
Yeah.
Probably literally the only thing that I would struggle with physically is if the guy was like super skinny. Mostly because I'm not. I'm very like muscular.
You got a bit of tone.
So there's that idea of like I don't want to be the muscle in the relationship.
Yeah.
Like, so let's say that there was an intruder in the house and I would feel like I need to protect them. There's that idea of like I would prefer to feel as if the guy could protect us. So I would like someone who's like more built than me if possible, not like super skinny. I could like break them. How about you? Same question.
For me, I mean, it came back to like we had that conversation about, a little bit ago. It's like attractive, like it's all right. I can judge somebody by looks, but then I meet them and they're a total turn off. They're not. For me, it's more like their demeanor. Like, are they feminine? Are they got do they smile? They got good manners? Are they generally a good person? Can I bring them home to mama? But can
exactly.
I would it's different things like that for me. And like I say, like you can meet somebody and they can be, oh yeah, she's like, oh yeah, she's a 10 out of 10. But then you meet her and you go, oh well, her personality is a 1 out of 10. So
yeah.
For me it's okay, yeah, she's attractive, but then has she got some traits and personality stuff that I like to see in somebody, like say ease of conversation, good manners, can I have a conversation? Like I said, can I have a conversation, repeat myself, just basic things like that, just being basically a good human being. And if you got them in order, then that's good.
The manners is something that I've noticed has become more important to men. I remember now on the dates I've been on more recently, it's specifically mentioned you're very well spoken and you have good manners. This makes me wonder what are the girls doing that have bad manners? That's like that. What counts as bad manners? That's a good question.
Oh, to me, well, I just think maybe like being a bit abrupt, things like that. I mean, maybe sometimes you have to time and place where abruptness might have to be used, but yeah, good manners just please and thank you. How you treat the waiter is how you treat everybody. If you treat some, you people you're with, but then you talk to the waiter or the server like crap, then
Yeah.
little things like that.
I think it comes back to like what we were saying at the very beginning. Yeah. it's like what you were saying, like before, you want the girl to be like, what is it, a nun on the outside, right? Someone you can take
This
home
is
to
when we
mum,
weren't
and mum's
recording the
happy.
conversation. Well, go on.
It's what is it? It's like a nun on the streets and then something between the sheets. I can't remember that
Freak in the
phrase. What
streets,
is that
yeah.
phrase?
Oh, yeah, like I say.
But then what's the first part of it? But that's right. That's actually where the big eyes like come in super handy. I have this like wide-eyed innocent thing going on. So
Mm.
parents, I really like parents. I always get on really well with parents. Actually, like really loved my last long-term ex's parents a lot. I actually really didn't want to break up because of them. That can
All
be quite
right.
simple.
Well, you
Yeah, they
seem
were
just
really nice
like,
and really sweet.
yeah. Well, I don't want to see you no more, but we can keep in touch with your parents. You know, they make a good roast dinner.
I was still speaking with his mum. I'm not joking. She still used to call me for a while.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I like parents. So just so that you know. Anyway, so this has been a very nice date.
Yeah.
Nice getting to know you.
Yeah, it's been good actually. I think
I think we've talked about things that we wouldn't have probably normally talked about on a date, but I think that's been nice because it's been more open.
yeah, I mean, I'm hoping
more
some
open.
people can gain some insights and a bit of value from this and see what's going on in both sexes' head when it comes to dating. But you know,
Yeah,
we're just two people. I
yeah,
mean,
that's
what's going off in our
super
head isn't necessarily what's going off in somebody else. But
exactly. It has been very interesting to get the male perspective though. So thank you.
yeah. I mean, I think with guys, it's like sometimes they just want it. You know, they want it all too easy, and you know, like for me, like I put a bit of effort into my dating profile. I made some good photos. Maybe made a bit of a funny bio, but a lot of people you see, like, you know, going back to, it's just they put no effort into the profiles.
Yeah.
Women as well, like it's just Snapchat filters and some, you know, it's no kind of creativity in their pictures or anything like that. And
Yeah.
I think, you know, you have to almost have it. It's your CV for your dating. You have to represent who you are. So
Yeah.
for me, it's like, well, I like taking nice photos. I like, you know, working out and doing nice things. I want to show that through my profile. But a lot of people, it's them in the bed with a Snapchat filter or a mirror selfie with a towel wrapped around them or something. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know what you know. I think you.
Yeah, I get a lot of
I haven't got your Bumble
I get
profile,
a lot
but
of
I remember that you had some yoga things. You kind of,
yeah.
you know, you showed off what you was about, and I think that's important.
Yeah, a variety, right? Like to just try and like give them as much information as possible. I get guys who specifically say, "I'm so relieved you have no Snapchat filters." I
Yeah.
don't understand that. Snapchat
Yeah.
filters make me want to scream.
Yeah.
So no, they're a bigger version of me. But also, it comes into this idea of like, what's the point in trying to present yourself as looking differently than you are? Because you're going to meet this person unless you've never got the intention to meet them, and then they're going to see you for who you are. So just show them who you are. Actually,
Yeah.
like that about your profile, that there was effort put in, because the ones who are like never filling it in, I mean, that I'm not judging them, but I've tried to have conversations with these people and there's just never been anything there. It's just been like one word answers and it just couldn't get the conversation going, which
Yeah.
I mentioned is like really important to me. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. But yeah, you have nice pictures actually. They were really nice. And they did kind of showcase you. And I can see that you're like serious about yourself and your self-development, and it like shows it shows in your
Yeah, and that's been a journey. I mean, I'm not perfect. You have to come on your own journey, and you know, it comes with age. And my channel is to kind of show to guys is that some things don't happen overnight. Like, you know, I'm not what Dan 5 years ago is not Dan who is now. I've had people say to me, "Oh, you've changed a little bit," or you're a bit more stern, you're a bit more serious. But it's because, you know, I know what I want more. You know what I mean? Like before, he was a bit like, you know, before I was maybe not that same person I am now, but it's a journey, isn't it? And like me being on the dating apps 5 years before, I had some not so great photos and not showcasing myself potentially the best I could be. But as soon as I've got some better photos and displayed my hobbies better, it's paid dividends because you can meet more people potentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To wrap it up, I think this has been great. Been a great chat, and
Nice.
appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
Hopefully
thank you. Remember Starbucks.
Remember the what? Sorry.
Oh, we've got witnesses now. Starbucks. Peppermint
All right.
mocha.
Yeah. People put in the comments. Have you been to Starbucks yet? Yeah, you could. Okay, I'll get you an espresso. Yeah. All of the.
No, peppermint mocha.
Yeah.
Peppermint mocha has to be. Thank you for having my first date of the year, Dan.
Yeah. No worries. My pleasure.
Maybe my last date of the year, actually, thinking about it.
Yeah, potentially.
You could be my only date in 2020. How cool is that?
So I'm definitely the best date in 2020 you've been on.
Yeah, it's been brilliant for sure. It's been the best date that I've been on in a long time. So thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate that, Amy.
All right.
And I'll speak to you soon. Have a good one.
You'll call me, right?
Yeah, I'll call you.
You'll call me. All right. Have a good evening, Dan. Nice to talk with you.
You too.